press conference. I will have to leave at 6:30, which is in 27 minutes now. Maybe just a couple minutes after, but I can't let the Q&As go forever because I have a life that I have to attend to. Yeah, but this is going to be a press conference, just going over what the government's been up to because we believe in transparency. We don't want to go too long without any of these. So that's good. And without further ado, I'm going to start recording and we'll get started here. All right. Welcome, everybody, to the press conference from the government of Alexandria. I am Prime Minister Dartanboy. Most of you already know that. But yeah, let's get started. So just a few days ago, we had the State of the Kingdom report. It was compiled by the Ministry of Internal Affairs. And this offers a comprehensive overview of a lot of the stuff that's been going on over the last few weeks. It's got some fun statistics as well. One thing that I want to highlight is that every member of parliament received a greater than 50% approval rating, which is really a testament to all the work that we've been getting done. Some recent legislation that we have passed, some of which has been signed by the king already, some of it's still waiting, is a Criminal Code and Procedure Act, which revamps our criminal code and some of the procedures around that. The Code of Contract, so that contract law is more easily enforceable than having to rely on some vague common law concepts. The June appropriations, because... Wait, can you guys actually not hear me, or is Phil and DeBlanc just pulling my leg? Okay, cool. Sorry.
Chat is also working now, so.
Great. Okay, I'll continue. June appropriations, because the government has to be funded in order to do things. The Government Code of Ethics Act, which makes the government have to be ethical. The Statute of Limitations Act, which is just some more procedures for court. The Rules of Evidence Act, also some more court procedures. And the Government Budget Act, which is going to enable the opposition to submit a competing budget, and then we can kind of have some serious conversations about budgets. This can help ensure that we have some good fiscal responsibility in the government. So all of these together are providing a strong legal framework for justice, finance, ethics, and all kinds of important stuff. And we've got tons more planned. But yeah, we're just trying to lay some more of the foundation of a functioning government that serves the people. The ministries have been active, even though some of it hasn't always been totally viewable. That is why we're having this conference, so that we can talk about that. The Ministry of Justice has made huge strides in the investigation into the illegal and dangerous foreign exchange scam operations. And the scammers are feeling the heat. Even just having the investigation is slowing and even halting some illegal operations. And then the Ministry of Justice has also been working with the Chancery to flesh out a legal profession so that we can get actual lawyers instead of just everybody being the lawyers, although that's also has some benefits to it as well. The Ministry of Internal Affairs has been getting the events department get up and running, so they're getting the ball rolling on that, or should I say the puck sliding. I'm not very funny, but the hockey tournament is proceeding on schedule with the help of 30 Stone. We're also working on longer event arcs, which can have more role playing going on, last a little bit longer, and build engagement in game. Sadly, the conserved Outback ideas that we had were actually vetoed by staff, so we're shifting focuses away from that. The Ministry of Welfare has been getting that exam infrastructure ready for the university, and that is ready to go. So we're hoping to get the university up pretty soon. They're also starting work on jobs revamping as well as getting custom recipes. And we're not just going to copy it all from Redmont. We're going to have our own unique stuff. The Ministry of Trade and Finance is kind of at a standstill a little bit while they're waiting for some plug-in work to get changed, but we are actively trying to get that stuff through. The Ministry of Development has been working on plot regulations. There's been several drafts of legislation for that, and we are trying to get that through so we can get rid of the empty plots that are just sitting there empty, not being used. And then the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we have been working closely with 1950 Minecrafter and then soon to be Kaiserin as we prepare to get a treaty with Redmont to establish relations with them. That's pretty much what the ministries have been up to in the last few weeks. And we're excited to keep working for all of you guys. And that's pretty much all I had for today. So for questions, I guess you can send them to me, and you can ping me if you need to in the voice chat channel. Do we have presidential debates? We don't have a president, username selected. So no. All right, I did just get word from the Ministry of Internal Affairs about the referendum. There were 24 total votes. Nay had 10, I had 14, which means your parliament is obligated to take steps in the direction of replacing Dahant with Saint Leg. So all of you who love Saint Leg, you can get excited because Saint Leg is going to be the official vote counting method in Alexandria for the next election. Let's see. There's a lot of questions coming in. When will the Ministry of Trade and Finance be issuing the stimulus to the citizens that were called to action and followed through? Stimulus? I'm not sure. I think I know what you mean. The Stimulus Act, we plan to repeal it and replace it with higher voting rewards. And because we believe that it's important to stimulate the economy in responsible ways rather than just handing out free money. So you should not be expecting stimulus checks. Do you know when the Build World, not Pastes, Just the World are coming? And ask about that. It's not something that we're determined to never do, but right now we don't believe that spawning in materials would be responsible. What are the requirements for running for parliament? Last I remember, it was like an hour of playtime, but you could probably expect that to change before the next election. Will there be any compensation to those that followed through on filling out the form for the stimulus? There's going to be compensation for everyone in the form of better voting rewards. Are you determined to not print money? We are not determined to never print any money. We want to get a central bank running, and they will have the authority to print and remove money from circulation as necessary. It's really just I'm not like an expert on economy. That's why we have a minister of trade and finance, and why we want to have a central bank in charge of those things. We want the experts making that without politics getting in the way. What's the vote count for the referendum again? It was 14 ayes for St. Leg and 10 nays. Is the Prime Minister going to join a hockey team for the Ice Cup? I would like to. I have to admit that I forgot what day it's on, but I will take a look at that. That is on June 22nd, which, what day of the week is that? I can't get a calendar out right now because I'm recording my Minecraft. Where did it stay? One second, I got lost in my Discord. All right, there we go. Okay, well, I don't know what day it is at, so maybe I would like to join, but I have some stuff going on. It's Sunday, June 22nd. June 22nd. I don't know. I might have stuff that weekend. I might not. I'll get back to you on that. Isn't money inherently political with a central bank that will have government appointed governors? I mean, there's a little bit of politicalness in the sense that it's government, but we want to have them have long terms that kind of prevent the political decision of it. Just kind of in the same way, like judges are appointed by the government, but we don't consider judges to be a political position. That's kind of what we're going for with the central bank. Do we have prime ministerial debates? We would like to, probably. I think we would like to have those pushed for through the private sector rather than having the government host them. Just let the people be more involved in that. I know there are several news networks. I'm sure any of them would love to have prime ministerial debates for the next election. But I don't speak for them, obviously. This is just my assumption. When is the next election? 90 days after May 20th, I believe. No, May 15th. So what? Well, 90 days after we started, so that's May 23rd, I think. So then 3 months, May, June, July, August. End of August, I think. Will Parliament support evicting inactive players from their properties soon? Will there be legislation? We are actively working on legislation regarding plot regulations. Has anyone investigated Mr. Fluffy's transactions? I don't believe we're at liberty to discuss ongoing investigations that have not been declassified. So if we are investigating him, I would not be allowed to tell you. What is the limits on property? Those are still being discussed. We don't want to be invasive, though, if that's what you're asking. We don't want to, we're not going to be like everybody can only have one plot or something. That would just be ridiculous and maybe even illegal. Is there any talk of allowing ADUs on our plots? You're going to have to tell me what an ADU is, because I honestly don't know. Auxiliary dwelling unit. Is that like sort of like a second house, sort of that you could like rent out? I don't. Whoa! Thanks, Toad King, for that. I personally, this is not the official government stance necessarily. I personally don't have a problem with it. However, I see the argument to be made that the ADUs should be on commercial properties, but I'm not convinced. I think that we could maybe have a limit of like maybe you can have one or two, something like that. There's definitely talks about it. It's again none of the plot regulations have been fully uh, fully finished yet, but we've been working. Will the government support allowing well-regulated in-game shares? Well-regulated in-game shares. In general, we are a big fan of having financial related things in game. So I want to say yes. However, there are obviously some risks associated with that, especially with the Outback. It's definitely kind of a little bit up in the air right now. Are there monopolies in statecraft? I mean, physically, is it possible? Yes. Is it legal? That's a good question. I'm not the Minister of Justice, and I am not 100% confident that I can answer that question. What type of properties are there? There are residential plots and commercial plots. Those are the main ones. I believe we have potentially. Oop! I just got kicked from the server for being AFK. I believe we have agricultural plots and some others. Currently, I don't believe we have skyscraper plots. We are a much smaller um, city than in Redmont and or than Revale, so we don't have skyscrapers currently. I would say that the plot regulations are likely going to have a build limit. We haven't fully settled on exactly what height that is going to be. But we are probably. Yeah, I think there was some regulation out there from the interim government and or staff. We're not gonna go higher than that for sure. Like at least not yet. I'm not. Maybe in a year we'll be in a different situation. Maybe we'll have way more players and we'll need a bigger area. Maybe we'll be a bigger city and we'll be able to go higher. But right now that's just not really feasible. We think the limit. People are saying 60 blocks. I'm not sure if that was set legally or not. It might have also been staff. I really honestly don't remember, and I apologize for that. All right, I'm going to wait another minute or so for more questions. If there aren't any more, that's fine. Recommended height is 60 blocks, and that's all I'm going to say. Will I participate in a knighthood tournament? We don't have a knighthood tournament yet. When we do, I don't know. I think it could be fun. We do have one. I didn't realize that got announced already. Like I knew we were working on it. Yeah, I would love to. Where can I find cheap plots of land? You can't. Land is expensive. That's just kind of the way it is. I think we want to get some expansion, get some more land available for purchase, but right now that is not a possibility. Oh my gosh, the knighthood tournament for real this time is what you said. I see it happened while I was probably looking at my announcement. Sorry to overshadow it. Whoopsies. Yes, and I didn't get pinged. That's weird. I guess I don't have the politics role. Anyway, there will be a knighthood tournament on June 29th, which is also Sunday at 5 p.m., which is the same time as the other one on a different day. Uh, that's okay. We will be trying to get some events going at different times as well, as we know all you Europeans out there would also like to participate and don't necessarily want to get up at 2 a.m. to do so. That is totally valid, and we will be working on that. Will new towns be possible? Not at this time. Staff have informed us that we are not allowed to make new towns. What if we call it a hamlet instead of a town? No, we're not going to try to skirt around the rules. Maybe we can talk about it if we have a higher population, but right now it's just not even feasible. Like, even if we wanted to make towns, it just wouldn't make any sense. We're a new nation with our one city here. What about a homeowners association? I don't believe we currently have any plans for anything like that. We cannot prosecute people for having AI generated profile pictures because uh, that just doesn't make any sense. How will we be able to attract more permanent players from democracycraft? That is really a good question. We are going to be working a lot with Redmont as we enter some foreign relations with them, which by the nature of just being aware of each other and having stuff going on is going to attract people to be perhaps citizens of both countries. Additionally, we're going to have some really fun, unique events, and that is going to be just really awesome. I think people are going to love them. I know the hockey tournament should be fun. Our knighthood tournament, just even having knighthood is pretty cool. And like I said earlier, we are working on some longer term role play based events. So those are going to be really awesome as well. Does the government plan to support the Outback and the Nether being truly lawless? What do you mean by truly lawless? Because I think that if you enter into a contract in the Outback about stuff in the city, like that still has to be enforced. As the Chancery once put it, if you launched a nuclear missile from the Outback and blew up the city, certainly that would be illegal, even though you were technically in the Outback when it happened. We focus on where the harm is caused rather than where it originated. Or, I said that wrong. Where the harm is focused rather than where the action originated when determining whether something is legal in the Outback at this time. I personally voted aye to prevent locking of containers in the Outback. However, if we do so, I think we need to have a larger Outback. Uh, that's my opinion. Can I resign and make someone else prime minister? Technically, I can resign. However, that would make the deputy prime minister the prime minister. It would not make anyone else the prime minister. I do not plan to resign, but technically I could. When is Three Stone getting flogged? I don't believe he is. I know that the king mentioned that he does not have the authority to flog people. Can I call a new election today? I cannot, if I remember correctly, but Parliament as a whole can. I don't remember if it requires supermajority. I think it does, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Is there Statecraft Wiki? Yes. Can somebody give him the link? Because I don't have it on the top of my head. Thank you, Bebanek. All right, I've got just a couple minutes left if there are any more questions, but I do have to leave in just a couple minutes because I have to mow my lawn. Will the government increase the events budget? The government will increase the events budget as we have inflation. I'm not sure exactly how much everything is going to be changing. That's very much a month-to-month thing that we're going to be feeling out as we get used to this. I don't understand what you mean when you say, will the government fix the limits on plots? Because I'm not aware of what's broken. Is it true you will be playing Anna in the Ministry of Internal Affairs production of The King and I? I am not prepared to answer that question right now. Will the government accept a $4,000, not dollar, we don't have dollars here, a £4,000 events budget request? Again, this is really more of a question for Parliament. Even though we are the head of Parliament, we are a minority government. If you didn't know, no single party has a majority. So this is not something that the head of the executive is able to answer. All right. One more question, and then I have to get out. PMQ when, and will press get broadcasting rights? We are working on scheduling the PMQs. Unfortunately, Juno was busy this week, and so we weren't able to get it scheduled. Hopefully very soon. As soon as we get a time set in stone, there will be an announcement for it. Did anything get said about the invention of custom items and recipes? Yes. We are working on those. It's okay, I'm recording, so you can watch this again later. Yep, Torton was here with TPA News, I believe, is also recording, so hopefully, or live streaming, so that will also be recorded in case mine doesn't work, because now I've been recording for over 30 minutes, and there's a little risk of corruption on the file there. Should be fine though. All right, that is going to be it. Thank you everybody for coming to this press conference, and I wish I could stay longer and answer more questions, but I really do have to go mow my lawn. So y'all have a wonderful evening.